The Hallmark Playhouse, which is heard during most of the year at this time on Thursdays, has nearly finished its summer vacation. Be with us when Hallmark Playhouse returns to CBS 4 weeks from tonight on September 7th. Now from Hollywood, it's time for Edmund O'Brien as
Johnny Dollar.
I'm glad you're in, Dollar. This is Barton, Chief Adjuster at Cosmopolitan All Risk. When can I see you?
I hope it doesn't have to be tonight. I'm ready for bed.
I'm afraid it does have to be tonight. I just got a call from a city fire inspector. There's a 4-alarm blaze in the Hartford Alliance building. We carry the fire policy.
Has Inspector phoned you? Does he suspect arson?
More than that, they picked up the man who said it. That policy is for over $300,000. I'd like you to sit in while this guy makes a statement.
Okay, Barton. I'll meet you there.
Edmund O'Brien in another adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office Cosmopolitan All Risk Insurance Company. The following is an accounting of my expenditures during investigation of the Hartford Alliance matter. Expense account item 1, $2.50 cab fare from my apartment to the scene of the fire.
Hey, Mark, can't you give us any more pressure?
I'm feeding 4 lines now. Sorry.
We have the chemical hose right over here, Woodruff.
There it is, Captain. Watch it there, mister.
Oh, yeah. Through here. We'll hit it from the third window there.
Dollar. Hey, Dollar.
Right over here, Barton. Hey, Barton, here.
Oh, everything outlines against that blaze. I couldn't see you over here.
Out of harm's way. Hey, that building was a bad risk. Is there any steel in it?
Yeah, maybe a little in the plumbing, but it's no worse than most in this neighborhood. Somebody's got to insure them.
Who owns it?
His name is Clarence Pickett. I don't know too much about him.
I understand the blaze started there in the ground floor corner office.
Yeah, that's right. The Hartford Alliance Loan Company. An off-duty policeman saw it start as he was driving by and then grabbed this kid as he was heading it down the alley.
A kid?
Yeah, about 19 or so. They took him down, but we can question him when they get through.
And they're sure he's the one.
He was running away. Hey, look at that wall below the second floor window.
Yeah, you men, get out of there. Get back away from that wall. Leave the equipment. That's it. Come on!
Expense account item 2, $1.75 cab fare to police headquarters where I met Sergeant Broderick, the officer in charge.
This kid's a queer one. I don't know what you'll get out of him. He wouldn't even give us a name to book him under.
Nothing on him that would identify him?
Nothing. He must have stripped his pockets.
Well, the fact that he darn near killed a bunch of men might help loosen them up, huh?
I wish you luck. Yeah, this is it. You all ready, Martin?
I'm all loaded, yes.
We're going in to talk to him. When we finish, I'll bring him out. He'll be in front of me.
Right.
What's that for?
We'll get a photograph, snap one as he comes out the door. Can't get a halfway natural one any other way. Then we'll have it published and try to find out who he is. Go ahead. All right, son, get on your feet. These men want to talk to you.
It won't do you any good to talk to me. I don't want to talk about anything, and I won't.
Did you set that fire?
Yeah, I said it.
Why?
It doesn't make any difference why. I said it, and I'm ready to take anything that's coming to me.
Have you set any other fires?
If you mean am I one of those arson nuts, I'm not.
And why'd you set it?
Why do you keep asking me questions when I told you I wasn't going to answer any?
Your fire almost killed some men a few minutes ago. It may do it yet.
I didn't think about that. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
Why?
I can't tell you. Leave me alone.
Somebody hire you to do it?
It doesn't make any difference.
Why won't you tell us who you are?
Because I don't want you to know. I don't want anybody to know who I am. I don't want a trial or anything. I'll plead guilty to everything, to setting the fire and to killing firemen, everything. Just give me what's coming to me and leave me alone.
Let me see your hands.
Why?
Let me see them.
No. Hey, let go, will you? Let go.
Stuff, Dollar.
Yeah, that's all I wanted.
What was that for?
I wanted to find out what kind of a kid he is. He's not tough. His hands are clean, nails trimmed. There's a mark left by a ring on the third finger, left hand. Class rings, my guess. I've had enough for now, Sergeant.
Okay, we're turning him over to the psychiatrist in the morning. All right, son, on your feet. I'm going to put you to bed now. Come on. Keep moving. Hold it now.
Hey, give me that camera. You can't take my picture. What are you doing?
Calm down. Calm down.
Expense account item 3, $7. Transportation and general costs the next morning spent while running down the financial condition of Mr. Clarence Pickett, owner of the burned-out building. At 1 p.m., I looked for him at his home, and at 1:45, I found him viewing the charred remains of the Hartford Alliance building. Mr. Pickett?
Huh? Yes?
You were pointed out to me by one of the workmen. My name is Dollar. I'm working for Cosmopolitan All Risk.
And I suppose there's as trouble as I am over this. My office was right there, the corner one on the 3rd floor.
It's right over the spot where the fire started.
Yes, so I've been advised. And I was reminded as to how many nights I've been working there at the hour it broke out. You haven't assayed the loss already, have you?
That's not my job, Mr. Pickett. I'm not an adjuster. I'm a private investigator.
Oh. Well, I suppose under conditions such as we find ourselves, it'd be reasonable to expect investigation. Who's that strange boy? And why did he do this thing?
You've seen his picture in the paper there. I was going to ask you if you knew him.
I? Well, of course I'd. What are your insinuations, young man?
Look, Mr. Pickett, the conditions, as you call them, are not at all clear. An insurance company feels it has a right to make plenty of insinuations when it's up against a fire of incendiary origin.
Go on.
I was able to learn this morning that financially, you are not a healthy man.
You rotten snoop.
You've taken some pretty heavy losses on the exchange in the past few months.
I've dealt in stocks, bonds, and property for a long time. When the day comes that I have to burn myself out to recoup my losses... Oh, go away. I don't want to talk with you any further.
I'm afraid it can't stop here. Will you come down to police headquarters and face that boy they picked up?
I will not.
Why won't you?
Because I have no reason to. I've never seen him, and I don't care to.
On the strength of your refusal, I think a court order could force you to.
You do that?
I certainly would. So you have nothing to lose by coming without one.
Very well, Mr. Dollar. And I'll see you choke on your own insults.
Sit down, Mr. Pickett. I want you to understand that this is routine procedure and in no way an accusation of any kind.
Oh, rot. A few words to whitewash a violation of my rights.
Help yourself to the desk chair, Dollar.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Herbert. Will you bring the boy in now? Mr. Pickett, Mr. Dollar, our psychiatrist, Dr. Herbert.
How do you do, Doctor?
Gentlemen.
All right, son. Remember, this is serious. Now, have you ever seen this man before?
Yes, I have.
What?
Tell me who he is.
He owns the building. He hired me to set the fire.
Well, that's not true.
He gave me $50 and promised me 50 more.
Why, he's lying. I've never seen him before in my life.
Why would he lie?
How should I know? Because he's insane. He's trying to use me to hide something else.
Son, where's the money?
I spent it. I didn't get the other 50.
Why, these are bald-faced lies. It sounds like a scheme of the police. Well, it'll not be as easy as that. I'll not put up with it another moment. I'll seek counsel before I speak with you again.
Yeah, I couldn't hold him. We can pick him up later. Either of you want any more with this one?
I'll see him later this afternoon.
Nothing for me right now.
All right, son, come on. We'll go back to that room and talk some more.
What do you think, Doctor?
There is a greatly troubled and very confused young man. I could do very little to help him. A psychiatrist needs cooperation. He fought me every moment of the consultation.
Think he was telling the truth about Pickett?
It's hard to say. It could be true. On the other hand, as a falsehood, it could be classed as one aspect of this tremendously strong desire to keep some secret hidden.
How would he know that Pickett was the owner of the building?
That would be quite simple. Newspaper was shown to him this morning in an effort to force him to reveal his identity.
Yeah, that's right. There's still no key to who he is, huh?
None. I've learned only that he seems to be, well, shall we say, a well-bred boy, fairly well-educated, who was tortured by something in the building that he feared and hated.
The fire started in the offices of the Hartford Alliance Loan Company. Do you think a debt that the boy couldn't pay off would be a strong enough motive to drive him to arson?
Unless it were a debt of shame. No.
Well, we have to start someplace. Loan company is a better lead than what we've had so far. Say, you sure the kid isn't making this up, that he's not a psychopathic?
The psychopath is only an emotionally immature individual. And two of us can say that we have reached emotional maturity, or what it is.
After hearing the doctor out to the bitter end, I knew no more about the arson case than I'd known before. Expense account item 4, $1.75, cab fare back to the ruins of the Hartford Alliance building. Only a guard from the fire department was there, and a workman who was busy in the same office I wanted to look over.
I wouldn't come in here if I were you. You'll get dirty and it isn't too safe.
I'll be all right.
What do you want?
Well, I got an okay from the guards out there. I'm an investigator working on this case.
Oh, go ahead then. This loan outfit hired me to bring out their stuff that isn't burned, but it's all mixed up with the stuff from upstairs. Caved in.
Yes, fires are a mess.
Yeah, the safe from up there fell through, and I can't tell one from another. I wouldn't be surprised if the whole floor came next, what's left of it. What are you looking for?
I don't know. What was upstairs?
An employment agency, from what I picked up. Maids and butlers and that kind of thing. There's the one safe, and that's the other. Can you tell them apart?
Why don't you take both of them out and open them?
Yeah, well, all right. Give me a hand then, will you?
Sure.
This one's almost covered up. Hey, what's that?
Sounds like a timber. Let's move.
Hey, there's stuff above.
Yeah, there's someone up there. Come on, this way. Come on. Hey! Hey, you up there! Hey! Hey!
The highest standard of living, the highest wages, and the shortest hours. All this plus the time-honored guarantee of individual freedom. Where else will you find all these advantages but under our American economic system? Help to preserve that system. It has brought more benefits to more people than any other system ever devised. Now, with our star Edmund O'Brien, we return to the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar.
Johnny Dollar.
This is Bart, Johnny. How do you feel this morning?
Oh, rotten. How about the workman?
Bad. Still unconscious. Fractured skull and something about his back.
Well, I guess I feel better than he does. Hey, Barton.
Yeah?
That cave-in was no accident.
What's that?
There was a man on the floor above us. It's one of the last things I remember. He was looking down at us, holding a crowbar.
Well, why didn't you say something about it yesterday?
I wasn't thinking straight. You don't after a crack in the head like that. But I began to remember last night.
Are you sure of this, Dollar?
I guess it'll be hard to prove. There were two safes in there. One from the Hartford Alliance Loan Company and the other from the Hartford Alliance Employment Agency. It had fallen through from the office above.
I don't get it.
I don't either. But we just decided to move both of them out because you couldn't tell them apart without looking at their contents. And that's when the roof fell in.
And you're trying to work out a connection.
Oh, I don't know. Say, what about the kid? Has he been identified?
Not yet. He still insists that Piggott paid him to set the blaze. Hard to prove, but I'm following it up.
I wouldn't build a case on it yet. I'll try some more coffee and aspirin, and when I can make it, I'll go down and talk to the kid again. What's the matter with you?
Oh, get out of here, will you?
I'd like to. I wish I'd never heard of you, much less seen you. But it's my job to clean this thing up. That means putting as much evidence as I can get into the hands of the people who hired me. So settle back. I might be working on you until you're middle-aged.
Pickett hired me. I told you that.
Speaking as an insurance man, I'd like to believe that's true. But I don't think it is. I think something in the building was behind that fire.
He paid me to do it.
And why would somebody try to kill a workman and me because we were pulling a couple of office safes out of the wreckage?
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Pickett hired me.
What does the Hartford Alliance Loan Company mean to you?
Nothing. I don't know anything about it.
Or the Hartford Alliance Employment Agency?
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Nothing does. I can't tell you anything. Leave me alone, will you? I can't tell you anything. Please, leave me alone.
That afternoon, his silence stopped paying off, and his picture in the paper started to. A woman phoned in to say that she thought she recognized him. And at 6 that evening, I was standing on her doorstep in the little resort village of Pine Orchard. Mrs. Landry?
Yes.
My name is Dollar. I talked to you after you phoned the police in Hartford.
Oh, yes, Mr. Dollar. Won't you come in?
Thank you.
It was just the strangest thing about the way I happened to see that Hartford paper. Nobody out here takes it, you know. But I went down to the drugstore to buy a movie magazine, and something just pulled my eyes to this paper, and there was Billy Brandon.
You're sure of it?
I've known him since he was a tyke. I worked for his people, you know. That was before Mrs. Brandon passed on 3 years ago. I can't imagine what could have got into Billy to be in such awful trouble.
Is his father still alive?
Oh, my, yes, a splendid man.
And they live here in Pine Orchard?
Only in the summer. They're from Chicago, but they have a huge estate here, loads of money. Mr. Brandon is in Florida fishing. Poor man, I don't suppose he even knows.
The police are trying to locate him.
Yes, I just don't know what to think of it. How could Billy cause his poor father such shame?
Mrs. Landry, do you know if there's anyone on the estate now that I could talk to?
Nobody that lives in. Mr. Meek, the gardener, lives just down the street. He told me just yesterday that woman they kept out there left her job without so much as locking up the house.
Who is she?
Their maid. An out-of-town girl. From your home, Hartford. Some employment agency sent her.
Employment agency?
That's what Mr. Meek told me.
Mrs. Landry, do you know if it was the Hartford Alliance Employment Agency?
Line, yes, that was it. It's their business, I suppose, but there are plenty of good girls right here in town.
Mrs. Landry, what was her name? Do you know?
No, I don't, but Mr. Meek lives just down the street. He'd know.
The name turned out to be Belle Muir. And with that information, I pried Sergeant Broderick loose from a friendly poker game after I'd gotten back to Hartford. I met him in the file room at headquarters.
Come on in, Dollar. We'll see what we can dig up. Now, give me your theory again, will you?
Well, according to your psychiatrist, young Brandon was afraid of something in that building. It would seem that somebody else was afraid to see one of the two safes leave.
How sure are you of that?
I saw a man pry the wall loose.
Did you identify him?
Probably not. I just caught a flash. But the fact that the Brandons had hired a girl from the agency sort of falls into place, doesn't it? Don't you smell blackmail?
We'll see. You want to check our files on the girl, right?
Both the girl and the manager of the agency, Benjamin Price.
What's her name again?
Belle Muir. M-U-I-R.
M-U... here it is. M-U... Yeah, here's a Muir. Adelaide. How's that for a record? Look at that. They never learn. Mullen. That's it. No more Muirs.
Can we try Price now?
Sure. Here's the mail file over here. A-R-I... Price... Adolph. Dollar. Benjamin?
Benjamin L.
Benjamin L. Yeah, here he is. What do you know about that?
What's on him?
1939, suspected of fraud, no indictment. 1944, suspected of receiving stolen goods, no indictment. Suspicion of fraud again in 48. No indictment.
What about young Brandon? Can I talk to him?
Won't do any good tonight. He's in the hospital under sedatives.
Oh, you can't help feeling sorry for him. At least I can. Especially if it's blackmail.
Yeah, I know. His father's due in tomorrow afternoon. Maybe he can do something with him. Well, I'll see if I can get authorization from the bunco detail to follow this through. Tomorrow, we'll look into that setup.
Do you care if I go ahead tonight?
Where are you going?
Belmuir's.
Why start with her?
Couple of reasons. With a background of suspicions, but no indictments like that, Price must be smart. And I'd like her to talk to him before I do. Put him on guard and see what his next move will be.
Okay, Dollar. There's no way I can stop you. You've been lucky so far. Don't foul it up now.
Lucky? I'll trade you my headache for your poker losses any day. The discovery of Benjamin Price's name in the police file wasn't the only development to take place at headquarters. The desk sergeant had a message which he passed along just before I left. The workman who had been with me in the office when the wall had come down on us had died of his injuries. It wasn't just an arson case any longer. I found Belmuir at home, in a ground floor apartment, low-income neighborhood. Her reaction when I introduced myself gave me nothing. She invited me in, apologized for some nylons drying on the back of the chair, and invited me to sit down.
I can't believe that Mr. Brandon would do such a thing. Why would he?
I think he was being blackmailed.
Oh, a nice young man like him. I don't think he'd ever do anything he could be blackmailed for. He's too nice.
Have you ever heard of anybody but people with nice reputations standing still for blackmail?
Oh, I can't believe it. And I don't understand about the fire. Why would he do that?
To try and stop the blackmailers. Now, you're the only connection we've found between the building and the Brandons. I'd hoped you could help us.
Help you? I don't know anything about it.
You got your job with the Brandons through the Hartford Alliance Employment Agency?
Yeah, I've been signed with them for over a year.
Is there any way they could have gotten a hold of any information they could use against the boy?
I don't see how. And I swear I don't know what it could be. Young Mr. Brandon was almost too nice, if you know what I mean.
No, just what do you mean?
Well, I've had trouble with some of these spoiled rich men's sons, but Mr. Brandon never looked twice at me. Listen, you don't think that I...
Why'd you leave your job so suddenly, Miss Muir?
I didn't. I'm still employed. But when his father ran off to Florida and young Mr. Brandon said he was going away, I didn't see any use cooling my heels in that place away from my friends.
Uh-huh, sure.
I think you're barking up the wrong tree, Mr. Dollar. They're all nice people in the agency, every one.
Mr. Price, the manager?
He's very nice.
He has quite a record of being questioned by the police.
I don't believe that.
It's true.
Well, I never would have suspected it. I don't know what to think of this, Mr. Dollar. I really don't.
I don't either, Miss Muir. I won't take any more of your time. Thanks a lot.
Well, anything I can do to help, please call on me.
I said I would and left the apartment. But I got back to a position outside her door in time to hear a phone dialed and a conversation that started, "He was here." Proof of blackmail is hard to get without the cooperation of the victim, which is also hard to get. But it looked more and more like that lay behind the trouble. The next morning, I decided to try my luck with Benjamin Price.
Yes,
Mr. Price?
that's right.
My name is Dollar. I'm investigating the fire in your building for the insurance company.
What do you want from me? I didn't light it.
It's funny you should say that.
Why?
Because in a way, I think you did.
You can suspect blackmail all you want. That's one thing. Making it stick is another.
I guess Belle won't be much of a witness against you, will she?
Best kind I can think of. We're going to get married. She's loyal. So why don't you drop it, Dollar? You won't get any place.
You feel a little different now than you did when we were moving your safe out of that building. You must have gotten rid of the evidence.
I don't get you.
Yes, you do. I saw you. Don't you remember? I yelled at you.
Don't be ridiculous.
The man who was with me, the workman, died yesterday afternoon. with a blackmail that should work into a first-degree murder charge.
You're going pretty far, aren't you?
Not as far as the men from the police laboratory are going. They're looking for marks from a crowbar in that rubble that came down on us. And they're pretty good.
Watch where you talk this stuff up, Dollar. I'm warning you, I don't scare easy and I don't railroad easy.
And what are you worried about?
Watch where you shoot off your mouth. Now beat it. Go on!
I wish you hadn't gone to him, Dollar. You said yourself he was smart.
He is, but he's guilty, too. I recognize him, and he knows it. What about the father?
Well, he got in a little afternoon. He's a pretty important man in Chicago, an ex-public defender. Defense lawyer now with one of the biggest private practices there.
Sure, he would be.
Yeah, this is the room. We, moved him out of the ward. Mr. Brandon, this is Mr. Dollar from the insurance company.
How do you do?
Mr. Brandon?
Mr. Dollar, I understand that you've done a great deal of work on this situation, and I feel that it's fair to tell you that neither my son or I will make any kind of statement until we take the query under the fullest consideration.
That's all right with me, Mr. Brandon. I just left Benjamin Price.
You did?
Yeah. From his attitude, I take it that the basis of his blackmail is pretty strong.
Blackmail? I see no reason for that word to enter the conversation.
You're not in a courtroom now, Mr. Brandon. You're in a hospital room where your son has been kept under sedatives because of an almost complete nervous breakdown. Price is convinced that you'll sacrifice your son rather than give us proof that will clean this up. He threw that in my face.
Mr. Dollar, as an insurance investigator, what is your interest in this case at the moment?
Your son has tried to involve an innocent man. The company that hired me would be liable to slander if they try to build a case on his accusations. And you know the insurance companies.
I do, indeed.
I can promise you that we'll dig into your son's background and your background until we get the answers we want.
Dad.
Just a moment, Bill.
If you let Price get through this one untouched, where do you think he'll stop, Mr. Brandon?
Dad, make him go. I can't stand anymore. I don't care about myself, but I don't want...
Bill, let me handle this. Mr. Dollar, you must realize that my son acted under severe emotional strain. Could I depend upon you to be a witness in his defense?
No, you couldn't. He started something that caused a man's death.
Dad, don't let him talk anymore. Just leave me alone and I'll take care of it. I've done it all right so far.
Sure, you've done a fine job.
Bill, I think it's gone far enough. It has to stop sometime.
But, Dad...
Dollar, my son was involved in a traffic accident in Chicago 2 years ago. He was drunk. A woman was killed. There was a witness, and I paid him to perjure himself in our favor. Bill was acquitted.
Price found out about that?
Yes.
How?
This man, well, his name isn't important now, continued to extort money from me. He phoned at the house in Pine Orchard, and the maid overheard. I didn't know Bill knew about it until today.
She didn't know I was there, and I listened to her talk about it. The first one was bad enough, but then with another one, I had to do something.
Did you make a payment to the maid?
No, somebody else. A man.
Did you recognize him?
Yes.
Would you identify him if we took you to him?
Yes.
The rest, as far as I was concerned, came 20 minutes later when Mr. Brandon, Sergeant Broderick, and I stood in front of Benjamin Price's door.
Well, Dollar, haven't you caused...
That's the man.
Who is this guy? What is this? Get out of here.
I think we better come in, Price.
No, you don't. I know my rights. You don't come in without a warrant.
We got a warrant.
What do you want in here?
All we want is you, Price. There's a men waiting outside who want to place you at the scene of the murder.
You can't do it. I wasn't there.
You'll have your chance to prove that if you can.
The men want to go through your apartment.
Why?
They look for traces of soot from the building. All they need is a speck or two.
Come on, Price. Let's talk it over.
Not me.
Oh, you know you don't, Price. That does it. Okay, pick him up, Dollar. Don't bother to be gentle. He won't care.
Expense account item 6, $40, miscellaneous. Item 7, $2.50 cab fare back to my apartment. I guess the company won't get far trying to avoid the payment of damages, but all of us might make a moral out of the matter. Maybe somebody has said it before. one sin begets another. In this case, the original conspiracy to perjure a witness parlayed to an arson indictment. The son, fraud and murder for Price and Belmure, and enough charges to put the father out of work for the duration. All I got out of it was a headache. Expense account total, $180. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, stars Edmund O'Brien in the title role and is written by Gil Dowd with music composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Edmund O'Brien can currently be seen starring in the Columbia Pictures production 711 Ocean Drive. Featured in tonight's cast were Hy Averback, Ken Christie, Raymond Burr, Gil Stratton Jr., Howard McNear, Ted Osborne, and Peggy Weber. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is produced and directed by Jaime Del Valle. There'll be a new adventure with Philip Marlowe, Raymond Chandler's famous private eye, on most of these same CBS stations this Friday night. Shrewd, hard-boiled, given to the wisecrack, Philip Marlowe will bring you a solid half hour of thrills Friday night on CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Hallmark Playhouse, which is heard during most of the year at this time on Thursdays, has nearly finished its summer vacation. So be with us when Hallmark Playhouse returns to CBS 3 weeks from tonight, on September 7th. Now, from Hollywood, it's time for Edmund O'Brien as...
Johnny Dollar.
Mickey McQueen, Johnny. How are you?
Oh, Mickey, I tried to phone you a couple of times. I never reached you.
I'm out a lot these days, Johnny.
Hey, I heard about your protection of Sergeant, Mickey. Nice going.
Well, it isn't good. They're taking my meat away from me, putting me behind the desk. I've got to talk to a friend about it. Will you be home tonight?
You really sound worried, Mickey. What is it?
Oh, nothing yet, Johnny, but there'll be murder before it's finished. My mind's made up. I want to talk to you about it.
Well, sure, Mickey. I'll be here any time you want to come up.
Edmund O'Brien in another adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, to whom it may concern, Hartford Police Headquarters, Hartford, Connecticut. I don't expect you to honor this statement, but since the reports to my regular employers go in on these forms, the following is an accounting of my expenditures during my personal investigation of the Mickey McQueen matter. It's been my privilege to have worked a number of cases with Mickey McQueen here in Hartford, and through the years a friendship developed between us. So when he phoned Tuesday night to say he wanted to talk to me, I was glad to ask him over. But when it got to be 1:30 in the morning and he still hadn't arrived, I wasn't so glad. He arrived at 2.
I'm sorry I'm late, Johnny.
Yeah. Ah, what held you up? I was about to drop off.
I had to think, Johnny.
Ah, you're in uniform, Mickey. What about your beat?
My beat? My beat won't miss me. After 20 years of walking it from dark to dawn, checking its doors and passing the time of night with its people, drunk and sober.
Yeah. Oh, is it too late for a drink, Mick? I got your brand, some Irish.
Yes, that was good of you. I've been a good policeman, Johnny. I can say that without sounding like I'm stuck on myself, can't I now?
Well, I've never heard anybody say anything else, Mickey.
And I've got more friends to my credit than I have arrests. But I've got a quiet beat.
I think there are quieter beats in town. Maybe you're lucky. Here's to it.
All right. But be careful what it is. There's murder being done and planned right this minute, Johnny. Them that can stop it don't have the heart, right or wrong.
What are you talking about, Mickey?
I know what I'm talking about.
Are you feeling all right?
Feeling all right? I'm as healthy as I was yesterday, ain't I now?
I didn't see you yesterday.
After taking my job, putting me behind a desk. A degrading end for a man that's been active for 20 years.
After 20 years on your feet, you should take a rest. You've earned one.
The very words of commission, Johnny. But, Johnny,
Yeah, Mickey?
never mind. The devil take them all. I've used up enough of your time.
Wait a minute. You came over to talk about something more than your new job. What's this stuff about murder being planned and being done?
I shouldn't have said it. I wish you'd forget it.
What's the matter with you? You know me well enough to tell me, and you know me well enough to know I'll keep any confidence you want me to keep.
You're a good friend, Johnny. Maybe that's why I changed my mind about telling you.
And why'd you come over?
Because I thought I was going to talk to you. But I'm not.
Hmm? All right, it's your business. But you're acting like a kid, Mickey. Now, if you don't have anything to say to me, it's after 2. I may have a job in the morning.
All right, Johnny. I'm sorry I bothered you. I'll say good night.
I didn't sleep very well for the rest of the night. The sort of a half-doze parts of Mickey's conversation kept coming back to me. And the more sleep I lost over it, the more I wished I'd been less grumpy and more sympathetic. There wasn't a job for me the next day, and right after noon I decided to drop by his apartment and find out his mood when he was off duty. Mickey's apartment occupied the ground floor of a house not far from mine. I could hear a woman crying somewhere inside. I smelled domestic trouble, but I pushed the buzzer anyway.
Are you
Yeah, I'm Johnny Dollar, friend of Mr. McQueen.
Oh, yes. Johnny Dollar. He said to phone you if I ever needed.
Is he home?
In there.
She pointed in the direction of a door smaller than the outside door, the door to either a bathroom or a closet. It was a closet. The clothes were bunched at one end of the rod, and from the other, still in uniform, his own polished leather belt drawn tightly around his neck, hung Mickey McQueen. I walked back into the lace-curtained living room. The girl who had let me in didn't go with the furnishings. She was young, attractive, and her shoulder-length white blonde hair might have been natural. She had stopped crying, and she acted as if she were waiting for me to start something.
Well, what about it? You explain yourself, or do I get 3 guesses? Never mind that look. I only live here.
Ah. Well, I didn't know Mickey had a daughter.
Thanks for the compliment, but I'm his wife.
I didn't know he had a wife, either.
Maybe he was ashamed of me. My name's Thelma.
I'm sorry, Thelma.
You're an old friend of Mickey's.
Yeah, but he never told me about you.
You seen him lately?
Last night. First he phoned me, then he came by to talk to me.
What did he say?
I'm not sure. He was pretty handy with double talk. Maybe I was supposed to understand it, but I didn't.
What was it about?
About his job, the change he was making. Something about murders being planned and done, and nobody doing anything to stop them.
Then he didn't tell you
What?
that I was leaving him.
He's never mentioned you. Why were you leaving him?
Because it was all wrong. I never should have married him in the first place.
Why did you?
Because he was the kindest, most wonderful man who ever lived. Does that answer your question?
Not quite. Is there more?
Did you know his first wife?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you know he took her death pretty hard. They'd been married 10 years. I met him after she died. He was lonely, and I was... Well, he was pretty wonderful to me. I thought I could help him. It wasn't because of him I was leaving. It was me. But I never thought he'd do this.
I don't think he did.
What do you mean?
I think he was murdered.
But why?
When did you find him?
I came home about a half an hour before you got here.
Have you phoned the police?
No, not yet. I didn't know what to do.
Where had you been?
I told you I was leaving him. I've been living in a hotel. Does it matter?
Why'd you come back?
To get some things I'd left. Why are you asking me these things?
When it's murder, there's bound to be a lot of questions.
I don't think it was. Everybody loved him. He didn't have an enemy in the world. Why would anybody want to kill a man like Mickey McQueen?
I didn't have an answer to that, but I started there in the house to try to find one. If it was murder by hanging, I knew it couldn't have been committed without a fight. But a half-hour search didn't uncover any traces of a struggle. I phoned in a report and left Thelma and the apartment. For the rest of the day, I tried to talk myself into leaving the matter in the hands of the police where it belonged, but I couldn't do it. That night, I started making the rounds of Mickey's beat. I talked to a corner magazine vendor who had sold him a dime mystery, a woman in a cigar store who had talked with him, and a cabbie who had borrowed $5 from him. None of them gave me anything helpful. My next stop was the Cedric Hotel, where I looked up the house detective, Ned Martin.
Oh, Dollar, what are you doing in this end of town? Looking for work?
How are you, Martin? Oh, I got a night off. I'm taking a postman's holiday. Did you hear about Mickey?
His promotion? Yeah, he deserved it.
I didn't mean that. He's dead.
No. What happened?
He was found hanging in his own clothes closet.
The devil. Come on in the office where we can talk. Sit down. Oh, Mickey, I'll miss him.
So will I. Did you see him last night?
Yeah, he dropped in. He always did once or twice a night, just to shoot the breeze, you know. Why'd he do it? Did he leave a note or anything?
I think he was murdered.
What makes you say that?
He came over to see me about 2:30 this morning. There was something on his mind. He wanted to talk, but he wouldn't.
That figures.
What do you mean?
I noticed something about him last night. He was real low. I asked him what was the matter. He said it was because it was his last night on his beat. He was supposed to check into his new job today, but that didn't sound right to me.
Did you know he had a wife?
Yeah, I heard about it, and then I hounded him till he showed me her picture.
Platinum blonde?
Yeah, looked like it. And young. I didn't want to embarrass him by asking, but I wondered about her. What makes you think it was murder, Dollar?
So you think Mickey was the type to kill himself?
Well, no, but how can you tell?
I guess you can't. All you can do is try to find out. Well, if you don't have anything more, I'll be on my way.
Wait a minute.
Hmm?
I guess it was a dirty trick, and I wish I hadn't done it, but I snooped that marriage. I found out who she was. Her name was Thelma Weaver. She did a couple of years in Joliet.
Where'd you get that?
Well, things like that don't stay hidden. I'd drop it if I were you. I really would.
What are you holding out on me?
It's for your own good, Johnny.
I'll shake it out of you if I have to.
Okay, hero. You know Fred Koo, the Calcutta Club over on Bartlett?
I know of him. He's a police informer, isn't he?
Part-time. If you won't take my advice and forget it, go talk to him. And don't tell him who sent you.
Fred Koo, as the department knows, is half Oriental. The decor in his joint to Calcutta is Indian because he can get the effect with no more expensive decoration than reed matting and coconut husks. The place was small and it was jammed when I got there by a crowd that was largely male. I didn't recognize a face, but from the atmosphere, I got the feeling I could have retired on 10% of the bail bonds they bought in their time. I found Fred Koo leaning against a potted palm.
What do you want?
I want to talk to you about Mickey McQueen. You have an office?
You a cop, too?
Only a private one. I was a friend of Mickey's.
Oh, sure. Roy.
Yes?
I'm in my office for a little while. If there's any trouble, you buzz me.
What is it?
Come on, this way.
You got quite a crowd tonight, Fred.
Oh, sure. Sometimes I get a lot of out-of-town trade.
Did you see Mickey last night?
No, I didn't. I get along fine with Mickey. He won't take any payoff, but he doesn't push me around. How is he?
You know his wife?
His wife? I didn't even know he was married.
Her name was Thelma Weaver before Mickey married her. She did some time in Joliet.
Oh? Why'd you bother me with this? I got work to do.
You knew Mickey was dead.
No, I did not know that.
I don't see how it'd be enough, but it struck me that if somebody knew he was married to an ex-con, they might try to use the information.
I suppose you're right. Yeah?
Roy? Fred? I think you'd better come out.
Important?
Yes, I think so.
Be right out. Pardon me, Dollar. A little trouble outside. You wait here. I'll come right back.
I waited. And while I did, I took a quick look around the office for another way out in case I might need it. There wasn't any unless the steel door in one of the walls was it. But before I could try it, the other door opened. I wasn't expecting Fred Koo to return so quickly, and neither was I expecting who did come in.
I didn't expect to find you here, Mr. Dollar.
Likewise, Mrs. McQueen.
I was looking for Mr. Koo.
What for?
I thought I might help. Mickey kept this notebook, you see, where he wrote down all the places he stopped when he made his rounds. This place was one of them. I thought if I could talk to this Mr. Koo.
Do you know Fred Koo?
No.
Do you know anybody named Weaver? Thelma Weaver?
All right, mister, that's enough. Reach.
Don't be crazy. What good would that do?
Stay where you are and don't try anything. I really mean it.
She looked like she really meant it. It was a small revolver, Colt 25. I didn't know whether she'd come in meaning to use it on Fred Koo or me, but it didn't make much difference. At the moment, she had it pointed at my midsection.
One of your longtime mystery favorites, Philip Marlowe, is now to be heard on CBS on Friday nights. Philip Marlowe, Up for Parole, and Songs for Sale. That's the lineup of fine shows for Friday now on most of these same CBS stations. Hear them this Friday, hear them every Friday on CBS. The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, Up for Parole, and Songs for Sale. And now back to our star, Edmund O'Brien, in the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar.
I couldn't figure. She held her little revolver as if she was used to the feel of it, but there had been something actressy about the way she said reach. I couldn't figure her, but I decided not to take a chance. I grabbed up the inkwell from the desk and threw not it, but the contents at her.
Hey, what's the...
Okay. Drop it.
Don't.
Drop it. Drop it. Now sit down.
All right, what do you want?
Depends on what you want.
I told you. I want to find out who killed Mickey.
At the apartment earlier today, you didn't think anybody had. What about it?
All right, John. How much do you know?
Your name was Thelma Weaver, that you spent 2 years in Joliet.
That's right. After 2 years in that place, I didn't want to go back to that life and start all over again. I gave the bunch in Chicago the slip and came here. That's how I met Mickey. He arrested me. Vagrant. What a laugh. He showed up in court the next morning and got me released from his custody. I really felt for the first time like I could start life over again. I know it sounds corny.
But good. You make it sound real good.
You don't believe me, do you?
Sure. I believe you as far as you've gone. I even believe the part about starting a new life. You saw that Mickey had a heart as big as the city, and you didn't lose any time moving into it. That was smart. It was about the safest hiding place you could have found. For you, but not for Mickey.
How did I know about Fred Koo or the kind of man he is? Somebody spotted me and told me. I didn't waste any time getting in touch with Chicago.
Those men out there, they all from Chicago?
Most of them. Just about the tall one. Talks with an English accent.
Yeah, I remember him. Roy.
That's him. He came first. He checked the possibilities on Mickey's beat. He found out about Mickey's being moved over to a new job.
Where was he being moved?
Some desk job.
Where?
At the police arsenal.
The arsenal. How did he find that out?
I told him. I had to. He made me tell him.
What are Roy's plans, do you know?
Yes. Marquardt building. The one that has all the wholesale jewelers.
No, that's no good. Mickey was supposed to help them with a job of that size, or they'd revealed that he was married to an ex-con. That's not enough. They must have more than that.
I might as well tell you. Can't hurt me now any more than I've been hurt. His name's Roy Weaver. I'm married to him. He threatened to bring bigamy charges unless Mickey helped him.
That'd do it. With your record, bigamy would be a long stretch.
5 years. Mickey would do almost anything other than cause me that.
Who killed him?
Roy did. I wasn't there, I swear I wasn't. But they met him after he got through work at 5:30 this morning.
Why did they kill him?
Mickey was all ready for his new job. He had the keys to the arsenal.
Here's your gun. If you're on the level, you may need this, and the caliber's too small to do me any good.
What are you going to do?
I'm going with the police.
Why not use the phone?
It'll be tapped. That bunch would be in here before I got started.
I wouldn't try it if I were you.
Where are you going, Dollar?
I'm going home. I was waiting for Fred Koo, but I guess he decided not to bother.
Fred had to leave. Did Mrs. Weaver entertain you with her sordid story?
Yeah, it was very pleasant.
She's a charming girl. And you were going home to think about it.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Get out of my way.
Oh, I'm afraid I do mind. I couldn't chance having Fred interrupt at the arsenal, could I? Carl?
Yeah? Get out of my way.
Hey, where are you going? Come on.
Come on, get at it.
That's fine, Carl. Now, shall we go back to the office and wait? Bring them along, Carl. Pity you became involved in this, Dollar. I'd hoped there wouldn't have to be any more violence.
You did stop him.
Yes. Thanks for the buzz, darling.
It was a pleasure. Look what the skunk did to my dress. Fred get started all right?
He's well on his way. She'll be back within the hour.
Hey, Mr. Weaver, what do we do with this guy?
Keep him out of the way. Put him in there. See that he stays quiet.
Sure. Hey, you. Turn around.
At least I found out what was behind the steel door I'd noticed earlier in the evening. When my eyes opened and I got accustomed to the light from a single dust-covered bulb, I realized that I was in a sort of wine cellar. There were some bottles, but most of the storage space was taken up by a large and varied assortment of burglar tools. And there were a few weapons, too, but I knew that they were nothing compared to what Fred would bring back if the raid on the arsenal was successful. I glanced at my watch at 11:15, and right after that, I heard the heavy latch on the door being turned. I got back into my position on the floor, closed my eyes, and listened.
Don't forget the bars, Carl. We'll need them for the inside doors.
Yeah, I got you. Hey, Benson, you take these and I'll bring the rest. Yeah. You want the guns in there, Mr. Weaver?
We won't need them. Crocker?
Yeah.
Listen closely now. We're behind schedule. Both cars are in back. In the Buick, you'll find the things from the arsenal.
Yeah.
I want you to move half of them over into the Cadillac. What about the grenades, Fred?
They're in a case marked CN-DM. Irritant gas, M6.
You heard that? I got it. Open the case and put half in the Buick. Most important is the cordite powder for the vaults. There are 2 boxes. Put one in the trunk of each car.
Right.
Be careful with the touchy stuff.
I know I've handled it before.
All right, get along then. Hurry.
It won't take long.
Now, Fred, you'll be in charge of one car. I'll be in the other.
That's all right.
We're agreed that we'll meet at the north entrance at 15:15 midnight, both to approach the building from the east on Lincoln.
Oh, that's the best.
We'll have dropped 2 men to guard the south entrance. 2 of my men will subdue the guard at the north.
They better. They'll spring the alarm in big hurry.
You can trust me. They're just Thompsons. Thelma,
Yes, Ross?
where are you going?
Don't be so snoopy. I'm going to powder my nose.
You're coming with us.
Sure, if you want me to.
I don't need you, but I don't think I should feel safe without you with me. Don't be long.
I'll be right back.
I think everything's ready for men here, Mr. Weaver.
Good. Go to the cars then, Carl.
What about the Seamus?
Oh, we'll lock him up again. We'll decide what to do when we come back.
Well, I guess he can't cause no harm in this.
I tried to force the door using one of the bars they'd left behind, but no luck. Then I started poking the cement walls. I knew better than to expect to find any other exit. But with the biggest burglary in the history of Hartford underway, I had to do something. I kept a check on the time, and it was 20 minutes before they were due to arrive at the Marquardt building when a sound stopped me. The steel door was being opened. I moved behind it, still holding the bar. Martin. I'm here. How'd you know I was here?
Some dame phone hotel. She told me you were here. What happened?
Why should she call you?
Well, how should I know? I don't even know who it was. She just said she knew you came to the hotel and you were locked up in here. I mentioned the Calcutta to you. I came over to see what it was all about. What's the matter? Don't you believe me?
I don't know what to believe. You said you were holding something out on me when I talked to you.
I was. I knew Fred Koo was telling me information about Mickey's wife to some guns from Chicago. I knew it could have led to trouble.
Well, why didn't you tell me? You said it was for my own good.
I thought it was, and mine, too. I didn't want you to know so much you'd have to tell where you learned it. Prove how smart you were. I don't like this kind of stuff.
You got a car?
Yes, but it stays right where it parked me. You tell me what's going on.
The Chicago bunch raided the police arsenal. They're armed with everything from cordite to Tommy guns. They're going into the Marquardt building in less than 20 minutes.
What's that?
Wholesale jewelers. Will you take me out there?
Take this part way if you're crazy enough to want to go.
That's good enough. Let's get back into the office.
Who'd you want, the police?
Yeah.
We could stop on the way.
It'll take us 15 minutes to get to the Marquardt building. If we run into a patrol car on the way, we'll stop it. If we don't, you can drop me and then phone in. Where's your car? At the speed we traveled, we should have at least picked up a traffic cop, but we didn't. Martin wouldn't take me any further than the corner of Atlantic and Milton, and we reached there at 12 minutes after 12. That gave me 2 minutes to get to the Marquardt building. I didn't make it before they arrived, but it didn't make any difference. Both cars had pulled up and were unloading men. From a doorway about 50 yards down, I spotted Fred Koo and Roy Weaver. Then I saw Thelma. She got out of the Buick and started toward me.
Thelma, where you going?
Weaver shouted at her, but she didn't answer. Instead, she stopped, and I saw the little gun glitter in her hand as she turned back to them. Then I saw what she was aiming at. The trunk of the Buick, where the cordite powder was.
Thelma, stop it!
The car went up in a blast of powder and gasoline, and she moved back towards the other. Someone who had survived the first explosion opened fire on her. I saw her fall, but after she was down, she raised herself, and her last shot connected with the cordite from the second car. By the time I got to her, both cars were flaming wrecks. I picked her up and ran.
Oh.
You're all right now, Thelma.
Who is it? Johnny?
Yeah.
Where are we?
We're still near the Marquardt building. We're going to get you to a hospital.
I killed him.
As far as I know, yeah.
Oh, I did a terrible thing, didn't I, Johnny?
Yeah, pretty good.
I'm not sorry. You wanted to stop them, but I couldn't let you. I wanted to get them all at once for what they did to Mickey.
Don't talk now.
Getting just Roy wouldn't have been enough. Would have been easy, but not enough. They were all in it. It was the only way. The cordite.
Sure.
Mickey wouldn't have liked me doing that, would he? He was so honest. He always had to do everything so legal.
Well, he wouldn't have liked it, maybe, but he might have been proud of you. I am.
Are you, Johnny? And you think he would have been? You really do?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
He was the best man that ever lived. Too bad I wasn't. Oh. Anyway, I took care of the bigamy. They can't send me back to Joliet.
And that was it. Thelma Weaver McQueen, as the department knows, was DOA, Emergency Hospital. None of the mob got out alive except Roy Weaver, who lived long enough to sign a confession to Mickey McQueen's murder. I want you to know that I may have lost a good friend, but you have lost a better policeman. I hope to see those early news accounts that called him a suicide corrected. Expense account total, $0, 0 cents. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, stars Edmund O'Brien in the title role and is written by Gil Dowd with music composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Edmund O'Brien can currently be seen starring in the Columbia Pictures production 711 Ocean Drive. Featured in tonight's cast were Bill Conrad, Virginia Gregg, Ben Wright, Jim Nusser, and Dan O'Herlihy. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, was produced and directed in Hollywood by Jaime Del Valle. Join us next week at this time when from Hollywood, Edmund O'Brien returns in another adventure of...
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Every Thursday night, CBS brings you a top Hollywood star in a new radio play on the Hollywood Theater. Comedy and melodrama, fantasy and mystery. Stay tuned now for the Hollywood Theater, which follows over many of these same CBS stations. This is CBS, where Philip Marlowe takes the case every Friday night. The Columbia Broadcasting System.